Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the last period, due to some unexpected reasons of network issue, I was not able to conduct the class. So sorry for that. Let us talk today regarding electron microscope. Uh, as I have pointed out earlier also, that the resolving power of light microscope is restricted mostly by the wavelength of visible light. As you know very well that the limit of resolution or resolving power of light microscope is hardly zero point 0.2 micron. It is the resolving power of light microscope is hardly zero point 0.2 micron, and because it is zero point 0.2 micron, to observe the objects which are less than zero point 0.2 micron, you will not be able to see these objects under light microscope. So for observing objects which fall below the resolving limit of light microscope, you need to have a microscope in such a manner that these will be visible. So electron microscope is required to observe small objects which are less than zero point 0.2 micron, and almost all microorganisms, mostly they are either in this range or less than this. Viruses are basically in nanometers, so viruses you cannot see in light microscope. Whereas when you talk about electron microscope, the limit of resolution or resolving power, rather you can say, of electron microscope is 1 nanometer, that is 10 angstrom, and therefore you can very easily observe clear image of the object which is less than zero point 0.2 micron, even if it is in gram or not, or nanometer, you can very easily observe it. And what makes this resolution and magnification higher in case of electron microscope is the source of illumination. In light microscope, you know that we use light as a source for illumination of the object, whereas in case of electron microscope, high voltage electron beam is used for illumination. The wavelength or the wavelength of electron beam which is generated and is used in electron microscope is 0.05 angstrom. Right? So beam of very short wavelength. If you remember, I told you that resolving power is increased or is dependent, rather you can say, the wavelength of the light used for illumination. Lower the wavelength, higher is the resolution. So here lower wavelength or short wavelength of 0.005 nanometer is being used. Whereas in case of light microscope, we use a range of 400 to 800 nanometer. This much, and mostly 450 or 460 nanometer green or blue light is being preferred for light microscope. Whereas in case of electron microscope, a short wavelength of electron beam having wavelength 0.005 nanometer is being used. So that increases the resolving power or resolving limit of this particular microscope. Right? Electron microscopes, these are of two types that will come a bit later. But this electron microscope, it was say invented by E. Ruska in 1931. He was a person of physics and he has invented this electron microscope, for which he was awarded Nobel Prize also in physics in 1936. He invented microscope, electron microscope in 1931 for observing those objects which are having a dimension less than 0.2 micron and cannot be observed under light microscope. For such type of objects, for studying such type of micro objects, he has devised or invented electron microscope, where electron beam of short wavelength is being used for illumination, and for this he was awarded Nobel Prize in physics in 1936, right? And so we require what you can say electron microscope. तो ये बात समझ में आया कि इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप क्यों लगने वाला है? बिकॉज द लिमिट ऑफ resolution of light microscope is 0.2 micron. And what is the resolving power limit of human eye? Human eye का कितना होता है लिमिट रिजॉल्विंग पावर? It is
0.25.
25 mm. It is 0.25 mm, राइट? तो वो ये यूनिट इंपॉर्टेंट है, यह माइक्रोन है और अपना जो होता है वो mm में 0.2 mm is the limit. Okay, now let us move forward. Now electron microscope these are of two types. First is your transmission electron microscope, which is called as TEM. Electron microscopes are of two types. Transmission electron microscope, this is first one, and second one is scanning electron microscope, which is in short called as SEM. These are the two types of electron microscope. Now here also one thing you need to very carefully remember, that both the electron microscopes are having high resolving power and higher magnification. There are certain electron microscope which can magnify the image or the object up to lakh or 10 lakh times, right? But that depends on many factors. What is the construction of the microscope and so forth. We will just talk about the basic units, that is transmission electron. This was actually transmission electron microscope was invented by E. Ruska in 1831, what I was talking about. But whatever you talk about transmission electron microscopy and nowadays coming to scanning electron microscopy, there is great advantage of using scanning electron microscopy over transmission electron microscopy. As now, what is the difference? As the name indicates, transmission electron microscopy. As I stated, in electron microscopy or electron microscope, electron beam is used as a illuminating source. So whenever electron beam is being bombarded on the object, say for example, this is object. In case of transmission electron microscopy, what happens? That when this electron beam is bombarded, this electron beam is transmitted. It is transmitted through this object, which is, we can say, specimen. So for this transmission electron microscopy, you require a very thin specimen sample, right? So earlier, and that is very tedious. That is very tedious job. So getting a very thin section of the specimen sample and then staining it and then observing it. So it is a bit tedious process. And even if say for example, by chance, if the object is thick, then what will happen? The electron beam which is being targeted on this object will not be transmitted. And if it is not transmitted, you will not get the image. You will not get the image. So that is the difference between, that is how the transmission electron microscope works. That is, electron beam is targeted on the object and the electrons are transmitted, and on the projector the image is formed. So structural details, internal structural details of the object can be very easily observed by transmission electron microscopy. Whereas in case of scanning electron microscope, as the name itself indicates, scanning, this means that in this type of microscopy there is scanning. So in addition, क्या होता है यहाँ? Instead, say for example, this is the object. In scanning electron microscopy, what happens? The electron beam is bombarded on the object. Now here, the advantage of scanning electron microscopy is that you did not require thin section. Even a large atom can be kept. Say for example, you can keep a rock, you can keep a chemical or anything. Because in case of scanning electron microscopy, when the electron beam is bombarded on the object, there is in between this, there is a scanning coil. This scanning coil targets on the surface, of the object, and from this object or from this specimen sample, secondary electrons are generated. Secondary electrons. Now here, see, in case of scanning electron microscopy, the electron beam which is falling on the object will not be transmitted. Rather, it will excite the surface of the object and secondary electrons will be formed, and these secondary electrons actually are collected, amplified, and they are projected on a screen to get the surface view of that particular site or object. So that is the difference. ट्रांसमिशन इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप में पहला डिफरेंस क्या है? ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम है वो ट्रांसमिट करती है, पूरा आर पार जाती है, लेकिन स्कैनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोपी में वैसे नहीं होता. स्कैनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोपी में ये अगर ऑब्जेक्ट है तो इसके ऊपर बीम आएगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम, और फिर यहां से सेकेंडरी इलेक्ट्रॉन जनरेट होंगे और ये सेकेंडरी इलेक्ट्रॉन आपको इमेज बनाएंगे, आपका इमेज बनेगा इस सरफेस का. तो यहाँ ट्रांसमिशन नहीं होता है. सो normally for structural details, for knowing the structural details, the scanning electron microscopy is. And you can, another advantage of scanning electron microscopy is that you can observe the live specimen sample, which is not possible with transmission electron microscopy, because in transmission electron microscopy you need to prepare a thin section of that object in such a manner that through that particular thin section the electron beam should permeate or should transmit, and then only it will reach further, right? That is the major difference. Okay, now coming to the transmission electron microscopy and principle of transmission electron microscopy. Basically, when you talk about principle, an electron microscope or principle of electron microscope, the electron, in case of electron microscope, a electron beam is focused by the action of circular magnetic fields, and the magnified image which is produced by the magnetic objective lens is further magnified by magnetic intermediate projector lens. Now, one thing keep in mind that in case of uh, electron microscope, you need to compare it, and when you compare it with light microscope, you will find that working is same, principle is same. Only what changes has been done in case of electron, say for example, if you can compare light microscope and electron microscope, so what changes you will find in this? In first is the source of illumination. Here you will get light as a source of illumination. Here you will get electron beam. Second thing, here you will be having glass lenses. Here these are replaced with magnetic. Actually, it is referred as magnetic lenses, but it is basically a magnetic field through which a beam of electron will be passing. Right? So that is the major difference. And here you have ocular through which you will be observing. Instead, here is a projector lens. Means whatever the image is formed, that will be finally observed on the projector, right, through the viewing window. Right? So this is actually the difference. So when you talk about working, the working of electron microscope can best be visualized by comparing it with the light microscope, turning upside down. Turning upside down. If you turn it upside down, the working is similar. The working is similar. See. You see, this is the picture of electron microscope. This is the picture of electron microscope. Now you can see here, this upper part is the electron gun. मतलब आप अगर आपका लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप उल्टा कर दो, नहीं तो अगर सीधा रखते हो तो ऊपर क्या आता है? ऊपर आता है ऑक्यूलर या आईपीस. अब उसका अगर उल्टा कर देते हो तो ऊपर क्या आएगा? मिरर आएगा या लाइट सोर्स आएगा. वैसे ही यहाँ ये जो है, दिस इज योर इलेक्ट्रॉन गन which emits the light, or sorry, which emits the electron, and this is the body tube wherein the magnetic lenses are there, like this. Condenser lens will be there, then objective lens will be there, then here project your intermediate magnetic intermediate lens will be there, and here actually this, if you are able to see, this is the chamber or the site where object is inserted. Object is inserted, and this is your viewing window, and this is the projector lens. So you will view it and you will observe the things here. Whole this body is under vacuum. You have to keep this body under vacuum. लाईट मायक्रोस्कोपला जसं आपल्याला जेव्हा पाहिजे तेव्हा आपण बघू शकतो, तसं याच्यामध्ये नाही. इफ यू want to observe any specimen sample under electron microscope, you need to prepare. First thing, you will have to take a thin section of that particular object, then that is to be negatively stained, and by that time you need to develop or create a vacuum in this tube. And it takes around 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours for developing the vacuum in this tube, because if vacuum is not there, electrons will not travel in the straight path like light. You know, electron is bombarded, and wherever they get a chance they will move. Random movement is there. Electron doesn't move in a straight line like light rays. So to keep them in a straight line and target the specimen sample, these two things. First thing, vacuum is needed. What vacuum will do? Vacuum will remove all the air. Along with air particles will be removed. So nothing will be there in the column. And then magnetic lenses are there. These magnetic lenses will not allow the electron to move either side. So they will focus the electron in a same direction, and as a result of that, then you will be able to bombard the electrons on the object, right? Talking about working of transmission electron microscope. As I stated, the working of electron microscope or transmission electron microscope can best be visualized by comparing it with light microscope, turning it upside down. उल्टा कर दो अगर लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप को, तो वो एग्जैक्टली आपके इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप के जैसा वर्क करेगा. यू कैन सी जस्ट getting this. Now this is your light microscope. Okay, the ray diagram of light microscope, rather you can say. I have shown here, I am showing here is upside down. Okay, it is being upside down. So here light source is there, which is an illuminating source. That the same illuminating source in case of electron microscope is electron gun. Then here condenser lens is there, which is made up of glass, which we call as substage condenser. Here a magnetic lens is there, which is working like condenser. So whatever the you can say electrons which are generated, of course this electron gun is made up of a anode and cathode. So when a high voltage is applied to the top of the electron gun, this is made up of, electron gun is basically made up of tungsten filament, which is having a potential of around 30 to 150 kilowatt, which is made up of anode and cathode, which generates the electron, and through a small aperture that electron beam is focused. So here condenser will condense, again it will channelize, and this electron will be bombarded on the specimen sample. Here the specimen sample, here specimen sample is kept like this. Then after specimen sample is the objective lens in case of light microscope, and here the objective magnetic lens is there. आईपीस की जगह मैंने कहा कि प्रोजेक्टर लेंस होता है. Projector lens is there, which is also called as intermediate lens, and then it is projected by the projector lens on the viewing window or viewing screen. Here you can put a photographic film or so forth. Here you can observe it directly. Got it? That is the difference, rather you can say, in working. So as I stated, the working of electron microscope can best be visualized by comparing it with the light microscope when it is turned upside down. Okay, समझ में आया क्या? So electron beam, now what is substituted? Just again I repeat the things. Electron beam is substituted, is the substitution for light source. In case of electron microscope, light source which is there in light microscope is being substituted by electron beam, right? And glass lenses which are present in compound microscope, these are substituted by electromagnetic fields. Basically it is electromagnetic field, but we call it as electromagnetic lenses or magnetic lenses. So here a magnetic field is created in case of electron microscope, which actually has a function same to that of glasses, which is there in the light microscope, that it will allow the electron beam to move in a straight direction and target it, right? At the top of electron microscope, as I stated, it is located electron gun, which is located at the top, which is made up of tungsten filament having a high potential 30 to 150 kilovolt, right? The tungsten or the electron gun, I mean to say, is made up of tungsten filament, which is having 30 to 150 kilovolt potential. It has a shield and anode. And what is the function of electron gun? The function of electron gun is to generate and accelerate electrons, right? जैसे जो मिरर का फंक्शन है लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप में, या लाइट का फंक्शन है कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप में, वही फंक्शन है इलेक्ट्रॉन गन का. इलेक्ट्रॉन गन will generate high potential electrons. These electrons will generate and it will be focused on the specimen sample. The electrons which forms a beam while coming out from the electron gun is focused on the specimen sample through the center of the magnetic field condenser or magnetic condenser, you can say, and will be projected. After being transmitted through the space or after being projected on the specimen, because these are high potential electrons which are generated or high potential beam. Now, why it can travel in a straight direction? As I stated, the body tube vacuum is under vacuum and therefore it can travel in a straight direction. And if they are allowed to travel in a straight direction, then only they will be able to be focusing the specimen. So when the electron beam is focused on the specimen, because specimen is very thin, after being focused, it will transmit through the specimen, right? The electron beam will transmit through the specimen sample. The magnetic objective lens or magnetic objective field will focus the electron into the first, which is basically real image of the object, which is around 2000 times magnified. तो यहाँ पहला magnification होगा, right, by the objective lens, which is magnetic objective field, which is real image. Hardly. Now this depends. This will vary with the type of microscope. जितना ज्यादा वोल्टेज इलेक्ट्रॉन का रहेगा और जितना इफेक्टिव कंडेंसर और ऑब्जेक्टिव लेंस रहेगा, उतना ज्यादा मैग्निफिकेशन आपको यहाँ मिलेगा. इट इज एज सिंपल एज लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप. इफ यू आर यूजिंग प्रॉपर कंडेंसर इन लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप एंड ऑयल इमर्शन ऑब्जेक्टिव, then you are supposed to get higher magnification of the primary image. Similar is the case here. If the potential of the electron beam generated is higher, or the another one you can say, if the wavelength is low and the beam is formed, because formation of beam is dependent on two things. First is the vacuum in the cabinet and second is the function of the magnetic field. If magnetic field is powerful, it will not allow the electrons to move away from its path. So it will target it. जसं टांग्याला ज्यावेळेस घोडा बांधलेला असतो ना, किंवा घाण्याला बैल बांधलेला असतो त्यावेळेस त्याच्या डोळ्यावरती झापड बांधलेली असते बाजूला, आहे की नाही? तर कारण काय की त्याने बाकीचं बघायचं नाही, सरळ असं समोर जेवढं दिसतं तेवढंच, साईडचं नाही बघ. तर हे मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड्स जे आहेत दे आर लाईक दॅट, they are not allowing the electron to move apart from that particular path, and so they will focus it. Now this real image or the first image or the primary image, whatever it is, formed by the objective magnetic objective lens, it will be magnified further by the projector lens. It will be further magnified by the projector lens, and again the projector lens, depending upon its capacity, can magnify the primary image up to 2,40,000 times to 5 lakh times. Nowadays they are saying that you have an electron microscope which can magnify the image up to 10 lakh times. Can mostly 2,40,000 times to 5 lakh times magnification you can get of object in transmission electron microscopy, and all the structural details are possible how small the object is in case of transmission electron microscopy. And the final magnified image, or the secondary image rather you can say, can be observed by striking a fluorescent screen which makes it visible. Directly with the eye you cannot observe, because that is electron which can permeate. तो इमेज बनाई जाती है यहाँ प्रोजेक्टर लेंस से, और फिर इस इमेज को देखा जाता है. You will be observing this image. Image can also be can be captured on a photographic plate. Instead of projector, you can put here a photographic film. So when electrons is bombarded, it will form a picture. जसं अगोदरचे कॅमेरे होते ना, आता इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॅमेरे आले. पहिले जे कॅमेरे होते रोलवाले, त्या रोलवाल्या कॅमेऱ्यामध्ये काय व्हायचं, तुम्ही लाईटला एक्सपोज जर केलं की तेवढा तुमचा फोटो निघायचा, मग त्या निगेटिव्ह वरून पॉझिटिव्ह डेव्हलप करायचं. तसंच याच्यामध्ये होऊ शकतं. जर समजा तुम्हाला फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीनवरती बघायचं नाही किंवा तुम्हाला परमनंट रेकॉर्ड त्याचा पाहिजे आहे, तर त्या फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीनच्या तिथे तुम्ही जर इन्स्टेड ऑफ दॅट इफ यू पुट ए फोटोग्राफिक प्लेट, डायरेक्टली त्याचा निगेटिव्ह इमेज तयार होईल, तेही तुम्ही बघू शकता. You can take that also. This is how you can say the electron microscope works. Now coming to the, this already I have explained you that how it works. It can be very easily understood by putting the light microscope upside down. तर हे असे कंडेन्सर मेन 3 असतात. एक कंडेन्सर मॅग्नेटिक लेन्स, देन द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह मॅग्नेटिक लेन्स, प्रोजेक्टर लेन्स. याच्यामध्ये काही मायक्रोस्कोप मध्ये इथे एक इंटरमिडिएट प्रोजेक्टर लेन्स आणि ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह लेन्सच्या मध्ये एक इंटरमिडिएट लेन्स मॅग्नेटिक लेन्स सुद्धा असते. ज्याच्यामध्ये इंटरमिडिएट मॅग्नेटिक लेन्स असते त्याचं इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोपचं मॅग्निफिकेशन ह्या साध्या मायक्रोस्कोप पेक्षा थोडं अजून जास्त असतं. जसं मी सांगितलं 2,40,000 times to 5 lakh times, but in this addition, if a intermediate projector lens is added, that can be up to 10 lakh times, right? So that is the difference of the lens. It's but natural. If you are using a high quality lens, you will get different or higher magnification, right? Now before going to this, I would like to tell you the compartments what are there, or what are the different types, or what are different how a transmission electron microscope is constructed. Now see, this is actually a photograph of that, but this is a schematic representation. So first part, whenever you talk about electron microscope, the first part is the electron gun, right? This is the first thing. Now electron gun, it is very essential. Talking about construction, when you talk about, it is very essential. Electron gun is at the top of the central column. ये जो है पिच में का, ये है central column. यहाँ से लेकर, this is basically called as central column. Okay. Electron gun is at the top. This is at the top of the central column. Now, what is the function of electron gun? As I stated, the electron gun generates electron from hot tungsten filament. Tungsten filament, which works as a cathode. Which works as cathode. Tungsten filament होता है, and a metal cylinder, it is surrounding the tungsten filament. Like this metal cylinder is there, which surrounds the tungsten filament, and this filament is known as Weldon cap. This is called as this is called as Weldon cap, which is covering this electron gun. Now, what is the function of this cap? This cap gives shape to the electron beam. It gives shape to the electron beam. Otherwise, you know very well that electrons has no path. They travel in a random direction. So this cap gives the shape to the electron in the form of beam. Now just below this cap is, in the electron gun, it has an anode. Now this is anode. Right, this is anode. The anode has a small hole. Anode, it has a small aperture or hole, you can say, at the center, through which electron beam, which is generated from the tungsten filament or cathode, which is protected by this Weldon cap, will project the electron through this aperture. So high voltage electron beam will be formed. The anode has a small aperture or hole through which electron beam will pass. Then a very high voltage is applied, as I stated, around 30 to 150 kilovolt potential voltage is applied to the tungsten filament, right? And it will accelerate. Tungsten filament and anode will accelerate the electrons at a very high speed. They will accelerate the electron at a very high speed through the aperture which is there in the anode towards the central column. या अपर्चर मधून हाय व्होल्टेज या कॅथोडला किंवा टंगस्टन फिलामेंट आणि एनोडला हाय व्होल्टेज दिल्यानंतर electrons will be excited, and because here is a protective cap, so electron cannot move in this direction, and here there is a small opening. Now whatever the electrons are being generated, excited and generated, they will automatically form a beam, because now this is a protected one. It cannot go out of that. So it will form a straight beam of electron, and through this aperture it will be channelized into the central column. Into the central column. Mind well, the wavelength of the electron which or electron beam which is being formed by the electron gun is inversely proportional to its velocity. I repeat, the wavelength of electron beam which is formed is inversely proportional to its velocity. Means what? If the wavelength of electron beam is high, it will have low velocity. If it is low, means wavelength is low, it will have high velocity, and that is required. So wavelength should be low. Okay, wavelength of electron beam form should be low. So naturally it will have high velocity, means movement will be fast and high potential will be there. So inversely proportional. Wavelength and velocity is inversely proportional. Normally the wavelength of the electron beam which is generated and used for observation of object under electron microscope is most of the time 0.005 nanometer. The wavelength of electron beam which is generated by electron gun is 0.005 nanometer. Right? So this is the first, you can say, part of the electron microscope. Right? What is it? It is electron gun. Got it? ऐकू येतोय ना माझा आवाज? आहे ना तुम्ही वर्गामध्ये का नाही?
हो सर.
हाँ, तो पहला पार्ट है इलेक्ट्रॉन गन. ओके, as I stated, it is made up of anode and cathode, and it is coming to the. Now the second part, as far as construction of electron microscope is concerned, the second part is, as I stated, it is central column. It is central column. So second part is central column. Now this central column, as I stated, it is a metal tube. It is a metal tube. You can see here. It is a metal tube. Now, what is the function of this central column? The column needs, or you can say column maintains. It maintains high vacuum. Now, this is very important as far as functioning of electron microscope is concerned. Central column is an evacuated metal tube. Column maintains high vacuum to obtain a clear image because air molecules can deflect the electron. Air molecules, because if it is not evacuated, what will be there in the column? Air. So naturally, when electron is passing through the air, some of the electron can be deflected from the path. And to keep the electron in the same path, it is essential that this central column should be under vacuum. Not only that, within the central column, as vacuum is one of the most important function, rather than that also, it holds. The central column also holds magnetic fields. Magnetic lenses, rather, you can. These are the magnetic fields. These are the magnetic fields. And because of this magnetic fields, as this is there within the central column and the central column is under high vacuum, whatever the electron are generated by electron gun and passing through a small aperture here at the bottom of the anode, which is projecting a beam of electron in the central column where different magnetic lenses are there, and the column is under vacuum, so it will focus, it will keep the direction of the electron beam in a straight. It will not allow the electron to deflect from its path. What will happen if it is deflected? If the electrons gets deflected from its path, it will not be able to transmit through this object. And if it is not being transmitted to, अगर ये इस तरह से जाता है तो फिर आपको स्ट्रक्चरल डिटेल्स इसके नहीं मिलेंगे, राइट? So this is the second part, rather you can say, of the electron microscope. First is electron gun, second is central column, right? Central column is under vacuum. The third part, what is the third part? Third part is फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीन. ओके, इसमें सेंट्रल कॉलम में क्या क्या होता है? मैग्नेटिक लेंसेस हैं, उसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप यूटिलाइजेस इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक कॉल्ड मैग्नेटिक लेंसेस. नाउ दीज मैग्नेटिक लेंसेस focuses electron beam. Now what these magnetic lenses are made up of? Magnetic lenses consist of a coil to produce magnetic lens, to produce a magnetic field. The focal length of these lenses is changed by applying the current. तो उसको करंट अप्लाई करने के बाद पावर आ जाता है, मैग्नेटिक पावर, एंड देन इट विल चैनलाइज. तो इसमें कंडेंसर लेंस है, ऑब्जेक्टिव लेंस है एंड मैग्नेटिक इंटरमीडिएट लेंस है, राइट? इस बीच में कॉलम में, सेंट्रल कॉलम की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. सेंट्रल कॉलम में क्या है? मैग्नेटिक लेंसेस है. कितने टाइप के हैं मैग्नेटिक लेंसेस? एक है मैग्नेटिक कंडेंसर लेंस, दूसरा है मैग्नेटिक ऑब्जेक्टिव लेंस, और तीसरा है मैग्नेटिक प्रोजेक्टर लेंस. जैसे मैंने कहा कि इसमें एक एडिशनल लेंस हो सकता है कुछ माइक्रोस्कोप में, जिसको कहा जाता है मैग्नेटिक इंटरमीडिएट लेंस. अब इन लेंसेस की फंक्शन क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू टॉक अबाउट कंडेंसर लेंस, सो मैग्नेटिक कंडेंसर लेंस, इसका फंक्शन ये है कि इट फोकसेस पैरेलल बीम ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन ऑन द स्पेसिमेन. क्या है इसका फंक्शन? whatever the beam of electron is coming from the electron gun, with the help of this condenser magnetic lens, it will focus this beam of electron on the specimen sample, right? Then the second lens which is there in the central column is the magnetic objective lens. What is the function of magnetic objective lens? The function of magnetic objective lens is to form a real image. Its function is to form a real and magnified image. How many times normally it magnifies? 2000 times, right? Magnetic objective lens, it forms a magnified and real primary image within the central column, right? Then the third is here, in this case, the third is projector lens. But as I stated, in certain microscope, there can be a magnetic intermediate lens also. And if a magnetic intermediate lens is there, this magnetic intermediate lens, it lies between the objective lens and the projector lens. ये ऑब्जेक्टिव लेंस है, ये प्रोजेक्टर लेंस है. इस लेंस के बीच में बहुत बार मैग्नेटिक इंटरमीडिएट लेंस होता है, एंड द फंक्शन ऑफ मैग्नेटिक इंटरमीडिएट लेंस इज टू फर्दर मैग्नीफाई द प्राइमरी इमेज, टू फर्दर मैग्नीफाई द प्राइमरी इमेज. And if it is not, then directly within the central column there is projector lens, magnetic projector lens. The very function of the magnetic projector lens is to further magnify a portion of a primary image and project that formed image onto a fluorescent screen or photographic film, whatever it is. So magnetic projector lens is further magnify a portion of primary image and project that image onto the fluorescent screen or photographic film. Along with that, you will find that within this central column there is a specimen holder. This is स्पेसिमेन. जसं लाईट मायक्रोस्कोप मध्ये आपण स्लाइड ठेवतो. इन लाईट मायक्रोस्कोप glass slide is specimen holder. Like that, in case of electron microscope, you have a specimen holder. Now this electron microscope, as I stated earlier also, sorry, uses a thin section which is should be electron transparent. So electron microscope uses a thin specimen, and this thin specimen needs to be handled delicately, and also it should be electron transparent. Not only specimen sample but the holder also. The specimen holder also should be electron transparent. So specimen holder is, in case of electron microscope, is a thin electron transparent material which will hold the specimen sample which is to be examined. Normally, a copper grid supports the membrane. So it is जसं इथं दाखवलेलं आहे तसंच असतं ते. नॉर्मली हे असं एक असतं आणि ही ग्रीड असते. म्हणजे आणि याच्यावरती मग तुम्हाला तो सॅम्पल जे आहे, सॅम्पल तुमचं जर स्पेसिमेन सॅम्पल आहे फॉर एक्झाम्पल, हे असं ठेवायचं असतं. अँड देन इट इज टू बी इन्सर्टेड इन टू द स्पेसिमेन होल्डर. आता स्पेसिमेन होल्डर मध्ये ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही ठेवतात, बिकॉज द सेंट्रल कॉलम इज अंडर हाय व्हॅक्यूम, as soon as you put the specimen holder inside the column, it will be immediately sucked up आणि ते airtight होऊन जातं. The copper grid support the membrane and a special holder holds that grid, and it will introduce it into the object plane through a airlock system. कारण सेंट्रल कॉलम पूर्ण व्हॅक्यूम आहे, त्याच्यामुळे तुम्ही जस्ट ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही ते स्पेसिमेन टाकाल त्यावेळेस खटकन ते ओढून घेईल, त्याने एअरलॉक होऊन जाईल. पण याच्यामध्ये अतिशय महत्वाचं काय आहे की बिकॉज दिस इज अंडर व्हॅक्यूम, हाय व्हॅक्यूम, आय मीन टू से, युअर सॅम्पल वॉट एव्हर यू आर युझिंग, इट शुड नॉट कंटेन एनी मॉइश्चर. इट शुड बी फ्री ऑफ मॉइश्चर. It should be dehydrated, and therefore live specimen samples cannot be observed under transmission electron microscope. Live specimen sample cannot be observed under transmission electron microscope. You need to have a thin section, and that too, that section needs to be processed in such a manner that it is dehydrated completely. If slight moisture content is there, that will disturb the whole functioning of the central column, because a high voltage current is applied to these magnetic lenses, right? So that will not work properly and microscope will be damaged, right? This is what you need to see. Then comes the fluorescent screen. The fluorescent screen, which is there, because electrons cannot be observed directly by eye, that will harm your eyes. Electron as electron harms your eyes, the image is made visible by allowing it to strike a fluorescent screen. Similar to the front panel of cathode ray tube, which is normally there in the TV screens. So cathode ray tube के ऊपर प्रोजेक्ट किया जाता है इस तरह से, एंड यू विल गेट ए इमेज फॉर्म. टू मेक परमानेंट रिकॉर्ड, अगर आपको सिर्फ देखना है तो कैथोड रे ट्यूब या फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीन पे यूज करके आप उसको देख सकते हो. लेकिन अगर आपको परमानेंट रिकॉर्ड चाहिए, टू मेक परमानेंट रिकॉर्ड, image can be projected on photographic film. You can project it on the photographic film, and the photographic image, of course, it is a negative that can be seen. The photographic image can further, अगर आपके पास photographic image है, suppose this is the image, this photographic image, after formation of the image, the photographic image can further be magnified 4 to 6 times. Again, photographic image फॉर्म झाल्यानंतर त्या इमेजला परत तुम्ही 4 ते 6 वेळपर्यंत मॅग्निफाय करू शकता. अँड ॲज ए स्टेटेड, फायनल मॅग्निफिकेशन कॅन रीच अप टू 10 lakhs टाइम. इट कॅन बी अप टू 10 lakh times, right? And final is the viewing window at the lower end of the column. At the lower end of the column, you have a viewing window through which you are supposed to observe the fluorescent screen, and on that fluorescent screen you will be getting the object. So I think for today it is sufficient. Isn't it? समजलं का? समजलं का? आता जे मी पार्ट सांगितले ते पार्ट इथे तुम्ही बघू शकता. यू कॅन सी ऑल दोज पार्ट. नाउ दिस इज युअर, नाउ गोइंग अपसाइड डाउन. नाउ दिस इज योर व्यूइंग विंडो. यहां से आपको देखना है पिक्चर किधर बनेगा. आपका इस साइड में बनेगा, वो यहाँ दिखेगा आपको. ये फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीन है, इस पर पिक्चर बनेगा, यहाँ आपको दिखेगा. यहाँ से आपको देखना है, ठीक है. उसके बाद ये फ्लोरोसेंट स्क्रीन है, इसके ऊपर इमेज बनेगा. यहाँ से आप देखें, ये जो है ये है स्पेसिमन होल्डर. यहाँ आपको स्पेसिमन डालना है. ये पूरा सेंट्रल कॉलम है. ये है आपका इलेक्ट्रॉन गन. और इस सेंट्रल कॉलम में यहाँ आपका कंडेंसर लेंस होगा, फिर ऑब्जेक्टिव लेंस होगा, फिर प्रोजेक्टर लेंस होगा, इंटरमीडिएट लेंस होगा, और वो प्रोजेक्ट करेगा. यहाँ आपको दिखेगा, राइट. दिस इज ऑल विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप. I think we will stop here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We will stop here and we'll meet tomorrow. So I will end this meeting now.